Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So would anyone like to discuss where we are so far? What have we done so far? Anyone? Let's just go back to the last session. So we were discussing a pastime in which the queens of Krishna, they are meeting with Uddhava, and that is the pastime we were discussing, right? And would anyone like to tell us quickly what the summary of the previous session was? I mean, I can go through it, but it'd be nice to hear from some of you. Dharmendra, can we let devotees unmute? I think you unmute as well.
Sangeeta Priya Mataji, I believe you were wanting to say something.
Yeah. So just the last part of the class, I just wanted to tell that Uddhava said to Parikshit Maharaj, you go and care about your subject, your praja, and do not worry about the Bhagavatam. And then Parikshit Maharaj circulated to Uddhava with the lecture. Then Bajranab saw himself, the Krishna's right foot as a Vajra. Then the queen of Dwaraka, Krishna's queen, they saw themselves as the ray of moon during the Rasa dance. So all the rays of moonlight, all are the queens of the Krishna, the Chandra color, Prabha, and then after that, all the queens are free from the Viraha Vyadhi, the distinction of the separation from the Krishna, and they all gone to the Nityalila. And the Kathas were going on for the month and the Govardhan Hill in Kunja. Yeah, then we discuss about the marking the feet of the Krishna's right foot and left foot. There only we start.
Very nice. Very well summarized. So that was the last chapter. We saw the wives along with Vajranab, and Parikshit Maharaj. They did the Kirtan and Katha, and then Uddhav appears. And Uddhav tells Vajranab who he really is. He's the Vajra, which is a mark of thunderbolt on the right lotus feet of Krishna. And then Uddhav also tells Vajranab that you can only be happy if you're connected with the Lord. And at that point, the question is, where is the Lord now? After that, he's disappeared. So where is Lord Krishna now? The answer that is given is that Srimad Bhagavatam Shastram Yatra Bhagavate Yada Kirtyate Shruyate Chapi Shri Krishnas Tatra Nishchitam. Nishchitam, certainly, Lord Krishna is present wherever Srimad Bhagavatam is chanted and heard. So having said this, he then says that everyone can benefit from this Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he recollects the parampara of Srimad Bhagavatam. From Shankarshan, he gave the Bhagavatam to the four Kumaras. So this is Shankarshan. This is Shankarshan and the four Kumaras, we saw the four Kumaras are receiving Bhagavatam from Shankarshan, and the four Kumaras in turn are transmitting the Srimad Bhagavatam to Sankhyayana. And from Sankhyayana, it goes to Parashara and Brihaspati. And from Parashara, it goes to Maitreya and Vidura, but from Brihaspati, it goes to Uddhava. So Uddhava received the Bhagavatam in this lineage. And then Uddhava, in turn, is giving the Bhagavatam to the queens of Krishna. So in this way, we saw that Bhagavatam is actually distributed in all, Bhagavad Parampara is there in all the planetary systems. And we then saw that Uddhava explains that Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, even they get their powers only through recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, when we say, we are talking about a trinity, trinity or the demigods, as we call it, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So Uddhava then makes a proposal that just like Vishnu recites Bhagavatam and completes it in 1 month's time, my proposal is that I will also now recite the Srimad Bhagavatam and complete it in 1 month's time for the benefit of the queens and all of you. So when he says that, of course, the thought in the mind of everyone is, how can we serve you? And Parikshit is asking Uddhava, please give me an order. Ajñāpyoham yatha karyam. It's very significant. You see, when someone is superior to us, in the olden times, when you go to that person, nowadays in English we say, how can I serve you? What can I do for you? Is there anything I can help you with? But if you see the system in the olden times, the language is very important. Here we see the language used by Parikshit Maharaj. He's saying, Ajñāpyoham, please instruct me. So I was recently in the hospital and one devotee sent me a message and it reminded me of this verse because in the message he said, Prabhu, please instruct me. How can I serve you? So I was thinking he's really got the message of how the Vaishnava system works. So we see here, Parikshit Maharaj is telling Uddhava, please instruct me. How can I help you? Yatha karyam sahayotra maya tatha. Whatever you ask me, I will try and help you accordingly. So what is Uddhav telling Parikshit? Look, Kali has come. And this Kali is very powerful. And he creates disturbance wherever some satkarya is happening. So please go and check him. And while you check Kali Nigraham, Masamatrena, in 1 month's time, Vaishnavim Riti, as Vishnu does, in 1 month's time, I shall recite the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. And Parikshit Maharaj says, now you have instructed me, and I asked you for the instruction. How can I refuse? So he says, Kalim tu nigrahishyami. I will go and check Kali's progress so that he doesn't come and disturb you. But then my dilemma is Shri Bhagavata Samprapti Katham mama bhavishyati. How will I, bhavishyati, future, how will I attain this Srimad Bhagavatam's benefit? Because I will not be here while you are trying to speak the Bhagavatam. So he says, do not worry. There will be a time when Shukdev Goswami will personally come and he will recite this Bhagavatam for you. You see, one cannot hear, comprehend, or love Srimad Bhagavatam before the fructification, the maturing of Kala, Kruti, and Kripa. Kala is time. Kriti is Sukriti. One has to have heaps and heaps and heaps of pious credits to even chance onto listening of Srimad Bhagavatam. Even get a chance. Otherwise, Bhagavatam is going on in the three worlds. There is Bhagavatam in every planetary system, but not everyone has access. Because either it's not the time for them or they haven't got enough pious credits. It's like entering an exclusive club. You have to pay the price. And even if you have the money, you may not be able to enter it. If the person who runs the club, owns the club, does not want you to enter. So ultimately, Kripa of Bhagavan and Kripa of Bhagavata, of a devotee. These three, when they come together, then there is maturing of the fruit and one receives Srimad Bhagavatam. So Uddhava tells to Parikshit that Shukdev will himself appear and give you Bhagavatam. He circumambulates, Parikshit circumambulates Uddhava, and he leaves. And Vajranab installs Pratibahu as the king. In 1 month's time, the Katha takes place at Govardhan, near Kusum Sarovar. There is a place, generally when we go to Kusum Sarovar, we don't go there. But that is the place Bhagavatam was recited. If we go inside Kusum Sarovar, on the left-hand side, you have to just keep going, and where you see the chhatris of the Maharaja of Bharatpur, the chhatri meaning the beautiful dome-shaped structures. You don't go in that direction, go in the other direction. And you will see one very unassuming, squarish shaped, pink-colored building. That is where this Bhagavad Katha took place. So it's a very nice spot and very quiet spot if one wants to absorb in Bhagavatam reading. As a result of this Bhagavad Katha, Vajranab saw himself as the imprint on the right foot of Krishna. And the queens, the mothers, they saw themselves as the rays of the moon, which are emanating from the moon during the Rasa dance. These are the queens of Dwarka. And then the question was, that original question was, where are all the people in Vraja now? So it is mentioned that all the people in Vraja, all the Nitya Parikars, they left. All the Tallipsuhu, they became Nitya. And all those who were Devadya, they went to Devaloka. So in this case, the queens also became Nitya and they join the Nitya. Then we go into the 4th chapter. So this is where we will begin today. I will need another, at least, I believe 3 sessions, could be 4, but we'll try and finish within 3 sessions, if possible. Sometimes I might feel a little exhausted and we might need to take additional breaks. So please bear with me. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So now this particular pastime was related to the sages. That how Uddhava spoke Bhagavatam to the queens. See, please understand, this Bhagavatam speaking was before, so on earth, this Bhagavatam speaking was before Parikshit Maharaj spoke to Shukdev Goswami. After about 40 years, 40 years of this, then Bhagavatam was spoken by Parikshit Maharaj to Shukdev Goswami. So the sages now are asking to Sutta, Tat Swarupa Pramanancha. Swarupa, what is this Bhagavatam? Please give me the form. Rupa. Rupa means form. Swarupa. What is this Bhagavatam? Pramanamcha. Pramana. Mana. Mana means measurement. How long is this Bhagavatam? What is the scope of this Bhagavatam? What is the length of this Bhagavatam? Vidincha Shravane Vada. What is the vidhi? What is the process for Shravanam of this Bhagavatam? Tadvaktu Lakshanam Sutta. And please tell me, what is the quality of the speaker of Bhagavatam? What kind of speaker we should listen this Bhagavatam from? Is it someone who is just claiming to have mastery over the Puranas, the Sanskrit language, or somebody who is just a person from a certain place? I mean, what is the qualification? Lakshanam. Give us the characteristics of how to recognize this person. Very important question. Huh? So, what is the book? What is the size and the scope of the book? How do we listen? Is there a process to listen? And how do we know? What is the vaktuhu lakshanam? Vaktuhu, tat vaktuhu. The characteristics, lakshanam of that speaker. Now, one may say that this should be enough information. That is not correct. If one says, I want to know a certain subject matter, let's say I want to study business and economics, then one may say, what is the duration of the course? How big is the course? What is the scope? What do they teach? So what they teach, how big is the course? How is it taught? How many sessions I have to attend? What is practical? What is theoretical? This, that. And who are the professors? But that is not enough. The very important question is, Shrotushchapi Vada Aduna. Aduna, now tell us, Vada. Shrotuhu, of the listener Lakshanam. This word Lakshanam applies to Vaktuhu and Shrotuhu both. So Vaktuhu Lakshanam and Shrotuhu Lakshanam. Give us the characteristics of the listener. Very important. Am I qualified to enter this? Say I want to go to London School of Economics. Am I qualified? Please tell me what is the qualification if I have to go there. So Shrotuhu, are we qualified? Very nice question. Generally, we are not so bothered about this. In Kali Yuga, as Kali Yuga progresses, everyone believes in rights. It's my right to speak what I want. It's my right to ask for what I want. It's my right to go where I want. But, rights is only one side of the coin. If I draw it as a coin, say two sides of the coin, one side of the coin is rights. The other side of the coin is duty. You know why you can go wherever you want? Why do you not get robbed when you go out on the street? Because there is law and order. Because somebody is doing their duty, so you can enjoy your rights. But in Kali Yuga, everyone wants rights. Nobody wants to perform duty. Everyone thinks, okay, we should listen to Bhagavatam casually. I'm having my breakfast. Somebody is on the call. Now it is Zoom, so it is very easy. Or I'm doing my multitasking, and just like some nice background music, I'm listening to Bhagavatam. It's my right to listen how I want. No. The method is one has to understand their duty. Only then one becomes deserving of enjoying the rights. So otherwise there is anarchy in a society where there is no duty, there is only people wanting to do how they want, then there is anarchy. So we should understand this. That very important point is, what do I as a listener need to have? So we will answer these questions now. Swarupam. What is this Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatasya Srimad Bhagavataha Sada Swarupam Ekamevasti Satchidananda Lakshanam. What a beautiful answer. What is this Bhagavatam's Swarupa form? Srimad Bhagavatasya, this Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavataha Sada Swarupam Ekam. This Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, is Ekam, is equal to, is one and the same as Bhagwan himself. Swarupam Ekam Eva Asti. Eva means certainly. No difference. In fact, he says, Satchidananda Lakshanam. Somebody might say, what is this Satchidananda? Can we see Satchidananda? Can we experience Satchidananda? Yes, you can. One Satchidananda is Jiva himself. Outside, Bhagavatam is Satchidananda. Bhagavatam is eternal. Bhagavatam is full of every variety of knowledge and understanding, and Bhagavatam produces bliss. Satchidananda Lakshanam. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, one who associates with that person, one must understand, certainly is associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Try to understand this. Please try to understand this. Then he says further, this Bhagavatam, it has got 4 aspects to it. Jnana, knowledge; Vijnana, realization; Bhakti, bhakti, and anga. Anga here means vairagya. From the commentaries we understand. Vairagya means renunciation. Bhagavatam produces bhakti. What is bhakti in simple words? It is love. Very actually difficult to give a precise translation in English. But one may say in gist, in crux, it is love. So bhakti is love. And this bhakti produces jnana and vairagya. We will see this. We will see this in the next few slides. Spiritual knowledge and spiritual renunciation is produced through bhakti. Suddenly, Srila Prabhupada would say, just see these Americans and Europeans, boys and girls. They did not even wash their hands after passing stool. And now they have worn the Brahmin thread and they are more cleaner than most people that you come across. Why? How? How did this happen? Because they developed love for Krishna. So immediately, knowledge and vairagya both occurred. So, and this knowledge is not dry knowledge. Jnana vijnana. Knowledge and realization comes together. Bhakti and its anga vairagya. Chatushtaya param vacha. These four, they act as maya mardana daksham cha. These four completely destroy daksha, means expert. These four are expert qualities for destroying mardana, choking the effects of Maya Devi. Vidhi Bhagavatam chatat. Understand that to be Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam produces bhakti. Why one must read Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavatam? It produces bhakti. It acts as the, when our heart is rubbing with Bhagavatam, it's like flintstone. You know what that is? It's a stone which you strike together and it makes spark. And that spark of the love of Krishna is produced when we strike our hearts with Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam produces that bhakti, that love for the Lord. And that bhakti produces jnana, vijnana, and vairagya. So we'll understand this further. Now, what is a pramana? Anyone? What is the pramana of the Lord, of Bhagavatam? Pramana meaning extent. What is the measure of Bhagavatam? Can anyone answer, please? Is everyone on the call? Yeah. How big is the Bhagavatam?
There's no limit to it.
Oh, there is no limit to it. Very good answer. But the Bhagavatam we have, how big is that Bhagavatam?
18,000 shlokas.
18,000 shlokas. Yes, correct. Who answered that?
Malati Mala.
Okay, Haribol. Yes. So, pramanam tasya ko veda. The first answer that is given is this. Pramanam tasya ko veda. Who knows the extent of Bhagavatam? Hyanantasya aksharaatmanah. Such a beautiful sentence. Ananta means Krishna. Ananta, infinite. Anantasya, of Krishna, of Ananta. Aksharaatmanah. Akshara means in the form of letters. The infinite
Kartik Chandra Prabhu, you're on mute. Sorry, I was trying to let that person in, and
Oh, did I mute myself?
I think that was me. I was trying to let another person in, and I think you let that person in. So
Oh, I see. Okay. So what was the last thing I said? What was the last thing you heard?
This is the last word only.
Infinite.
Noted.
So pramanam means, what is the measure of this Bhagavatam? Pramanam tasya ko veda yanantasya hi anantasya. It is certainly anantasya akshara atmanaha. It is the form, the letter form, akshara atmanaha. It's the letter form of the infinite, of Ananta. So it is also infinite. Brahmane harina taddik. Then the question is, how can one accept anything that is infinite? How can one absorb something that is infinite? It will take infinite time, it will take infinite energy, it will take infinite resources to understand something infinite. So immediately he says, Brahmane harina taddik. Brahma received from Hari that infinite in a compact form. One may say, how many fruits will a mango tree produce? If one asks such question, then you will say, oh, it can be so many hundreds of thousands of whatever mangoes over the lifetime of the tree. But one can give you the seed of a mango tree, and it also contains all those fruits. So sometimes something compact, if you understand the value of it, you can realize what it is. Similarly, Hari gave to Brahma Chatushlokya Pradarshita. He only gave 4 verses. Hari simply gave 4 verses, no more than 4 verses. So Chatushloki Bhagavatam is 2nd canto, chapter 9, verse 31 to 36. 31, 32, 34. 31, 32, 33, 34. 34. It's Chatish Shloki Bhagavatam. So, Pramanam of Bhagavatam as such is infinite, but it was originally received by Brahma in just 4 verses. In human society, people have very dull intelligence. So if somebody gives only 4 verses, you will not understand. So the sacred text of Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses. Now one might say, I will sit and count how many verses are there in the BBT version of Bhagavatam. Anyone knows how many verses are there? Anyone has done the math? Why is there no interaction? I would like some interaction. Huh?
Yeah, it's on the screen for 18,000 verses.
No, BBT.
Oh, the baby.
I didn't count.
Okay. Do you want to know how many verses are there in the BBT version?
Yes,
Sure, yes, please.
Okay. It's 14,905 verses. So where are the missing verses? So now I'm going to explain this to you. But if you stay focused with me, then you will follow. Otherwise, you may not follow what I'm going to say in the next 5 minutes. You try to understand. Acharyas have solved all kinds of problems. So this is the commentary. Anvitartha Prakashika by Ganga Sahai, in which he has solved this question. You can see he is giving all the tables. He has done some counting, you can see. And then at the end, he is giving summary. So we will translate this in English for you. But for that, to help you understand what the matter is, we have to understand some basics. So this is the first verse of Bhagavatam. 1.1.1. Janmadhyasya tvyanvayaditharatashchartheshvabidnaswarat tene brahmaridaya adikavaye muyyanti yat surayah tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatra sri sargo mrasha damna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi. This is the first verse. If you count the number of syllables, it's 19 syllables in every line. Like Janmadhyasya, like that. If you count, it's 19 syllables in every line. This is called a Shardula Vikridita meter. There are different meters. Each pada means each line has 19 syllables. Total is 76 syllables. Not difficult to understand so far. Now, if you look at a verse from Bhagavad Gita, let's say Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta Yuyutsava, Mamaka Pandavaschaiva, Imakurvata Sanjaya. You will see there are 8 syllables in every line, every pada. 8, 8, 8, 8. So now you try to understand this. If you take all the verses and all the text of Bhagavatam, if you convert that instead of its own meter size to a 8888, so 32 syllabled verse, and you calculate the Bhagavatam, then something very interesting happens. So each Anushtup verse is 32 syllables. If you convert this verse, first verse, this verse meaning 1.1.1 to Anushtup equivalent, it will be, this first verse will be equivalent of 2.375 Anushtup, because 76 divided by 32 syllables. So each Shardula Vikridita meter is equal to 2 3/8 of an Anushtup meter. Like this, if you count, you convert all the verses in Bhagavatam to a 32 syllable meter. So you have Padya, Gadya. Padya, Gadya means prose and poetry, both are there in Bhagavatam. If you do all the numbers of the actual verses, it comes to 14,264. Now, the BBT version is different only because the way their verses are split is different. Not that there are some additional verses or deleted verses. It's just the way it is split. This is traditional. Ganga Sahai gives this number. Okay. So actually the Bhagavatam that is extant means existing in the moment has 14,264.5 verses. Verses, or you can say text. But when you convert that to Anushtup, the total number is 16,259 3/4. Then you add all the Uvacha, like Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Shukdev Uvacha, Parikshit Uvacha, Raja Uvacha, like this. You add all of those Uvachas. Uvachas are considered to be as good as one verse. Then 13, 20 of them. And at the end of the chapter, you have chapter endings. For example, it says, that this is Prathamodhyaya, Prathamaskandhe Prathamodhyayah. This is the first skandha, first adhyaya, end of. So that those kind of conclusions, if you add, then you get number 41834. Now, if you add all of these, you get 17,998.5. The raw count was this. The converted count is this. And then at the beginning of Bhagavatam, it says, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This Om is, of course, it's written like this, Om. But it consists of 3 syllables, A, U, and M. So Om. So actually, so Om. So this 3 syllables, 1, 2, 3, is half, 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 or 1.5. So this plus 1.5 is 18,000. Are you following? It's okay if you're not following. Those who followed understand how mathematically Ganga Sahai in his commentary is showing with detailed table. He's done it for every chapter. You can see every chapter, number of verses. He's converting this to Anushtubh. Then he's counting how many Uvacha is there in that. Then Adhyaya ending verses. And then like that he's doing. No. Sorry, this is the Adhyaya numbers. But yeah, so he's doing this full mathematical calculation. And he counted it 3 times. Trivaram. He's doing this counting 3 times to come to this conclusion. So in this way, we understand that Bhagavatam, as we know it, is 18,000 verses. Nobody generally discusses this because this is not very common knowledge. Okay. Now, the next question was, what is the variety of listeners? Now, please listen. You are all listeners, so you should listen. What is the variety of listeners for Bhagavatam? This is qualification. 2 categories, high class, low class. And even amongst high class, there is different categories. There is top category and second, third, fourth category. And there is lower also 1, 2, 3, and 4th category. So there are 4 subcategories in the high class listener and the low class listener. So we can only ask ourselves what category we fall in. First category in the high class is a Chataka. See, Chataka is a bird who sits with his beak open facing the skies in the monsoon season. Chataka doesn't know when the rain cloud will come and when the rain will fall. Chataka doesn't know. But Chataka is so absorbed. Not only absorbed, this bird is indifferent to anything and everything in this world, just to constantly look forward to receiving that first drop of rain in his mouth directly. He's taken a vow. So the first class listener, he takes a vow no matter what happens. My phone rings or if somebody calls me or, I'm just focused on this study of Bhagavatam for this next 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I will be there before the class starts and I will leave after the class finishes, I will be absorbed. Vrati. Vrati means they take a vrata. Wow. Akhila upekshaya vrati. Akhila upekshaya. Indifferent to anything else that is going on. There may be people in the room, they may be chit-chatting, there may be something else going on, other important business, so-called important business may be there. But he doesn't or she doesn't care about anything. They've taken a vow. I will turn up on time, I will sit through, absorb like a chataka bird. Every drop is important. So this is the best listener amongst the high class. The second listener is attentive also, but he's not interested in every drop. So he takes the essence, like a hamsa. Hamsa is an ancient bird which can, if you give that bird the mixture of water and milk, it can find the milk and just drink the milk from the mixture of water and milk. So saram adatte. So second is also focused, extracts the essence, but also lets go of a lot of the other things. Now, Bhagavatam, there is nothing non-essential in Bhagavatam. So saram is according to the listener, saram. Whereas the first one, Chataka, is a vrati, completely absorbed. The second one accepts what is the essence according to him or her. The next category is like a shuka, like a parrot. Sushtu mitam vakti. This person, he speaks in between, but he asks something which is sushtu, which is mitam. Sushtu means correct, appropriate, and mitam means measured. He doesn't go on speaking, interrupting. He speaks, asks very relevant questions. And he's also making sure that there is no unnecessary prolonging of questions, or questions are not outside of the topic. Mitam means measured. And the last good listener is meena, like a fish. Shabdam na animisho jatu. This person may not fully understand everything, but he just remains there. Like the fish does not even blink. Na animisho jatu. Never does a fish blink. Similarly, never does the listener leave any word out of his ears. So actually one quality in all of them is they are all focused, attentive listeners. Now coming to the next one, lower category. The first one is vrika. Vrika means wolf. Like this wolf is always howling. Ooh, howling. Tudan rasikan. So rasikan, those who are having rasa in the listening, this wolf listener, he just creates disturbance. In between, he asks some random question, inappropriate comments, or just fidgeting. Others are listening, but this person is fidgeting. So people even online, they do these things. So this is fidgety listener, Vruka. Next is Burunda. Burunda is a mythical bird. They say mythical, but ancient bird. It has two heads. It's a bird with two heads. This is the take. Two heads. So this Burunda Shikshayet Anyan. This Burunda bird, while listening, he's thinking, oh, I heard something very nice that I need to teach someone else. He's or she's listening, but she's thinking, this message is not for me, it's for my partner or for some other devotee. They are not applying it to themselves. Shikshayat Anyan, others. They want to teach others. Just like this Burunda bird with two heads. It is, the story is like this, that once this head number one, had a fight with the head number two. So head number one thought, okay, I will teach a lesson to this head number two. So the head number one said, let me take this head number two to a poisonous fruit. And I will tell this head number two that this fruit is very tasty. Please eat. So that head number one takes the bird, like he himself goes to this poisonous fruit and tells the head number two, please taste this fruit, very tasty. Head number two eats it. And of course, what happens? The bird dies, including the head number one is dead. So this Bhunda is considered to be a hypocritical bird, representing hypocrisy. Shikshayet Anyan. Then next is Vrusha. Vrusha means like a bull. You see bulls in India, many places you visit, you see a bull is eating. What is it eating? It is chewing. It is regurgitating the food. Whatever is good or bad, it will just eat. It does not discriminate. Sara Sarandhadhi. Andhadhi is blind. Their intelligence is blind to what is Sara and Asara. Suppose when the speaker speaks, the speaker might sometimes make some points from ordinary life. Sometimes the speaker may say a little funny episode or something, or a joke, or the speaker might give one's own life example or one's own realization. Instead of getting the message, this Vrisha kind of listener remembers the joke but doesn't remember the message behind it. He remembers the life episode but doesn't remember the message behind it. So this is a bull. Sara Andhadhi. Sara Andhadhi. The fourth class amongst the lower listeners is like a Ushtra. Ushtra means a camel. Madhuram munchan viparite ramate. A camel, you give a camel some nice gulab jamun, he will not eat. You give him cactus, he will eat. So this listener, he's inattentive and he just kills time sitting in the class. It's most unfortunate. Anyway, you are spending time. Your time is being occupied anyway. But by not being 100% present, you are neither benefiting from Bhagavatam nor benefiting from something else you might be doing. You might as well switch off and go and do something else. Or switch off that thing and just focus on Bhagavatam. Madhuram munchan. Otherwise, you are like a donkey, like a camel who gives up the juicy fruit and instead goes to some cactus. So this is Skanda Puran saying categories of speakers and listener. Sorry, this is only listener. We'll go to speakers. Then, who is a qualified listener? What are the See, understand this, very important, huh? Who is the qualified Shruta? Yaha sthitva abhimukham pranamya. One who is constantly facing the speaker. You can do this online also. Turn on the camera, face the speaker. Sthitva abhimukham. Abhimukham, facing the speaker. Sometimes we see people are sitting and they are facing their back to the speaker, or they are sitting next to the speaker. This is not recommended. Abhimukham. Pranamya. With folded hands. With folded hands. Pranamya. Tyakta anyavado. See, it's so important. Tyakta, giving up, anyavada, giving up other tasks. In between, phone is ringing. You are hungry, you are eating some samosa, chutney, while you are listening Bhagavatam. You are cooking or you are doing. One devotee, he was listening to Bhagavatam online. While listening to Bhagavatam, he would do his gym exercise. He was gymming while listening to Bhagavatam. I asked him, what is this? He said, well, I'm using best use of my time. I am improving my spiritual muscles and my bicep muscles also. I said, not recommended. Tyakta anyavada. This is qualification, necessary qualification. Tyakta anyavado. Third, Harer Leela Shrotum Abhipsateti Nipune. He must have desire. Abhipsate. He must or she must have desire to listen to Hari Leela. It is not that casually. Sometimes someone meets someone who knows Bhagavatam. They may say casually, oh, just tell me something. Kuch Bhagavad, kuch suna do. Please say something from this Bhagavad. It's not casual. Desire has to be strong to hear Hari Leela. Namrotha. Namrotha. One has to be humble. Humble in the sense that when one receives, the water flows from the high level to the low level. Because of gravity, everything goes down. Namrotha means I'm taking a subordinate position to listen from you. Kriptanjalihi, with folded hands, sitting with folded hands. Shishyo Vishwasito. One becomes a Shishya. Nowadays, the only people think that Shishya means disciple, disciple means you have Guru, and Guru means Diksha Guru. This is neither the fact nor is it the reality. Yes, Diksha Guru is certainly Guru. But Guru comes in many, many, many ways. One shows the path as a Guru, Patha Pradarshaka Guru. In the heart, you are constantly guided by Krishna to do things. That is Chaitya Guru. And Shiksha Guru teaches you. That is Guru. Shishyo Vishwasito. One becomes a faithful disciple. Yeah, disciple doesn't mean like an initiated disciple kind of a business. It's not Diksha. Here Shishya means listener, or it means one who is taking instructions. Vishwasito, he has to have faith in the speaker. Not that he has no faith, but he goes on listening. Nuchintana, anuchintana paraha. Very important. After listening is over, he goes, relax. No. Anuchintana. After the listening is over, he goes away and listens again. Recording, or now we have recordings, but in olden days there was no recordings. Anuchintana. Rethink in your head. What was discussed? What is the purpose? How do I apply to my life? And how wonderful is the Lord, and how wonderful are his devotees. Anuchintana paraha. Paraha means he is devoted to anuchintana. Prashne nuraktaha. And he has questions. He is asking questions, genuine questions. Shuchihi, he is pure-hearted, pure in words, mind, and body. Means you come clean to listen. Nityam Krishna Jana Priyo. And she is always dear to servants of Krishna. Nigaditaha. Shrota Savai Bhaktribihi. This kind of a listener is described by the speakers as qualified listener, who has these 10 qualities. These are varieties or categories, but these are the qualifications, 10. Now, who is the qualified speaker? So, qualified speaker has 5 qualities. Bhagwan Matihi. He is Krishna conscious. Bhagwan is Krishna. Mati is conscious. He is Krishna conscious. Anapekshaha. He doesn't have any desire that by doing this, I will gain this, I will gain that. Name, fame, money, wealth, none of this. Suridaha. He may speak, she may speak strongly or speak kindly, but ultimately they wish well. They are well-wisher. We cannot, sometimes we accept somebody as our Shiksha Guru or our well-wisher only until they don't speak harshly with us. If they speak harshly with us, oh, I don't like that person anymore. So well-wisher can speak harshly. Well-wisher can speak kindly, as long as at their heart there is only well-wish. There is nothing anapekshaha. They don't want anything from us. Dineshu sanukampoya. They have to be compassionate, gently compassionate to the people who are suffering. Bahuda bodhana chaturo. And they should be chatura, means expert at explaining. Bahuda bodhana chaturo. At explaining the matter, the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam in complete detail. Bahuda, in many ways. Every word they should be able to explain. And bodhana chaturo. And this bodhana, they should make sure that what they are explaining is understood by the listener. Vakta sammanito muni. This kind of a speaker should be respected as a muni, as good as a muni. This is what Skanda Purana says. Now, how do we listen? What is the vidhi? What is the process? So very quickly, Rajasam Satvikam Chapi. There is Rajasic process, Satvika process, Tamasam Nirgunam Tatha. And there is Tamasic process and Nirguna. Nirguna means, see, these are gunas, Rajasa, Sattva, Tamasa. Nirguna, without any gunas. Transcendental. Chaturvidham tu Vidneyam. These 4 kinds of listening are there. Shri Bhagavata Sevanam. This is how you can do Bhagavat Seva. How? Follow one of the four process. So, passionate process is to hear Bhagavatam in 7 days. Sashramam, Satvaram, Sashramam with lot of effort. 5 hours, 4 hours. For 7 days, Bhagavad Sapta. Satvaram, quickly. Bhagavad Sapta, nowadays what goes on, it is more like a gimmick because it is not, Prabhupada didn't recommend, Srila Prabhupada. Many acharyas didn't recommend. Vallabhacharya, they didn't recommend. Why? Because it's all about, see this Bhagavad Kathakar, they will skip 5th canto. They will skip all the tattvas. They will just speak of leelas. And then they will make it interesting by giving daily life examples and husband and wife jokes. And, this will take you somewhere, but it will not take you to Krishna. And if it takes you, it will take you a little bit somewhere, but we don't know where. Some kind of place we may go. Because it is sashramam, it's long, with effort you have to listen, 4 hours. And satvaram, quick. Skipping so many. They are in a rush. Somebody sent me some link to some Bhagavad Sapta, although I don't listen because he insisted I should listen to that particular speaker. I said, okay, I will check it out. 7-day Bhagavatam. First 2 days, he finished, that speaker, he finished Canto 1 to 9 in first 2 days. 2 hours each. And then day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost 3/4 of day 7 also. He just focused on Krishna Leela. And Ras Leela, he focused 2 days. Rasa Panchadhyayi, the 5 chapters of Ras Leela. And then Canto 11 and 12, he finished in 20 minutes. So this is some passionate kind of listening. Goodness listening is 1 month. Swada Samyutam. So here 1 month doesn't mean that that is what we need to aim for. We don't want to aim for goodness. We don't want to aim for Bhagavatam listening in passion. Certainly not in ignorance. In ignorance means sa alasam, lazing, alasa, lazily listening to Bhagavatam, studying Bhagavatam. Vismruti, smruti, samyuktam. Some things you remember, some things you forget. So this is remember, this is forget. Samyuktam, together. You're reading 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, just reading slow, forgetting some things, remembering some things. No. 1 year, no. We don't want any of this. We want the next. Nirguna, transcendental means vimuchya niyamagraham, without having any forced principle. I will only read 1 year, 1 month, 7 days. I will only get an overview. Now everyone wants to do overview. Overview is okay. It may give you some attraction. To that degree, it is okay. There's no substitute to studying Bhagavatam thoroughly, preferably in association of a Vaishnava who relishes Bhagavatam. If you try to find sincerely, you will find such a person. But such a person may not be interested in spending time with you because it may be waste of his or her time. So you have to become really show the real interest. Transcendentals means, listening means vimuchya niyamagraham sarvada prema bhaktiyaiva sevanam. Always serving Bhagavatam with prema bhakti, with love. Always listening. This is transcendental. This is what Prabhupada gave us. Every morning, listening Srimad Bhagavatam. For how many mornings? No, this is not the question. For the rest of your life. Every day, rest of your life. This is transcendental listening. Doubt. Parikshit Maharaj heard Bhagavatam for how many days? 7 days. So he heard in passion? No. Why? Because he had only 7 days. He actually heard it transcendentally because he did not put any boundaries, no niyamagraha, that I will only listen. Shukdev, please only speak Bhagavatam for 3 hours. Then I need to go and relax. I need to have some nice meal. I need to check on my son and my wife. No. Continuous. With love. Giving up any boundaries. Niyamagraha means boundaries. Putting any boundaries. I will only listen to Bhagavatam when I am at home. If I am traveling, I will not listen. These are boundaries. Many people put some artificial boundaries like this without realizing that actually bhakti cannot be checked. You cannot stop bhakti under any circumstances. So, his listening was not in mode of passion, it was nirguna, because he had only 7 days and he engaged the 7 days in continuous hearing without stopping, without any niyamagraha, and he heard with prem bhakti samyuktam. Listener and speaker. Now, this is another last point that is given. That listener and speaker have to match their frequency. If the speakers, generally it is so, that one gets attracted to certain speakers based on one's own level of consciousness. And certain speakers may stretch our level of understanding and consciousness. So here it says, Dara, wife, Agara, house, Sutta, children, Rajyam, kingdom or sphere of influence or work, Dhanadi, wealth, money, etc. Cha, Yadi, Psitam. If one wants these, material things, Parantu Shobhate Natra Sakamatva Vidambanam, it does not befit. It does not befit that one does this Bhagavatam hearing with Vidambanam, making a show of things when their real hidden desire is to be materialistic. That is why one should not go to any of these so-called functions where they are discussing or doing some kind of a entertainment-based kathas. Because the one who's organizing, the one who's speaking and receiving millions of rupees, both the organizer and the listener as a speaker, they are both, and the listeners, they are all not going to be progressing in spiritual life. Na shobhate atra, na shobhate. It does not befit to do Bhagavad Katha like this. This is not me speaking. Huh? This is all from, I'm quoting everything from Shastra. There's nothing mine, it's not manufactured by me. 2 categories of listeners, broadly speaking. He then says, those who are dhanarthi and those who are krishnarthi. And by dhana, it doesn't mean just wealth. Shri Krishna Vyatiriktam Yat Tat Sarvam Dhanasannitam. Skanda Purana says, if you want anything other than Krishna, and you're listening to Bhagavatam, then you are a dhanarthi. If you want nothing but Krishna, then you are krishnarthi. So he says there is rasabhas. When the listener and speaker, if the speaker wants to give only Krishna, but the listener wants to have all kinds of nice tidbits, tintillating, dramatic speech and jokes and this and that and the other, then there is some mismatch. So he says there should not be mismatch. What is the fruit of hearing Bhagavatam? This was also important to know. Krishna prapti karam shashvat. Krishna prapti karam. One will attain Krishna. Premananda phalapradam. One will attain prema ananda phala. So one will attain Krishna and premananda. So why two different points are mentioned? Because this word shashvat is actually together with premananda phala. Shashvat premananda phala. The jiva receives, externally will receive Krishna's domain, will attain Goloka, Krishna's presence and the presence of his Varikara, his associates. And personally, Shashvat Premananda Phala Pradam, he will attain the phala, the fruit of Shashvat Premananda, eternal loving bliss. Premananda. Shashvat. Srimad Bhagavatam Shastram Kalau Kirena Bhashitam. In Kali Yuga, Kira means a parrot. A parrot spoke this Bhagavatam in Kali Yuga, because Shuka is also another word for parrot in Sanskrit. So Shukdev spoke. So here it says Kira, because Shukdev spoke a parrot. When a parrot pecks a fruit, the fruit becomes even sweeter, they say. The reality is the parrot will only peck a fruit which is already very ripe and sweet. So here this Bhagavatam was spoken. This completes the Skanda Puran Mahatmya. We now enter into the Mahatmya of Padma Puran. Before that, we will take a 5-minute comfort break. So any questions so far? We stop. Anyone has any questions?
Prabhuji, yes, please. When we
Do I have my hand raised? Why is my hand raised?
Prabhu, your hand was raised because it's AI. You raised it and then it automatically raised it,
Oh,
basically.
oh, okay. Yeah. Go on. Sorry, somebody has a question or comment.
I have a question. When we, during the day-to-day life commitments, we have to spend so much time driving and cooking, for example. And at that time, just to utilize some time, is it okay to listen Bhagavatam, or are we offending the Grantharas by doing that, because we are not fully attentive as well?
If that is the only time we listen, then that is not sufficient. What I mean by that is, if you are listening to Srimad Bhagavatam only while driving and not any other time throughout the day, then that is not sufficient. If it is part of your additional listening or revising, okay, that's okay. But one must give, please understand, try to understand this. Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. Non-different from Krishna. If we can just meditate on that, we will not say that, oh, I will deal with Krishna while driving, or that will be the only time I will deal with Krishna. No, exclusivity is important. So if you are telling me that you exclusively study Bhagavatam and also while you're cooking or you are driving, you are playing Bhagavatam in the background, that's okay. That is acceptable. Because there the intention is very clear that you want to be absorbed in Bhagavatam as much as possible. Sometimes you could just put kirtan on. You don't always have to have something that has to provoke your thinking. Just some nice kirtan could be in the background while you're driving. Or personally, I don't do a lot of listening while driving, or so I call it secondary listening. We must do primary listening. See, there are certain things which have to be done as a primary. Generally, kirtan as a background is pretty nice. Mind can just be absorbed in the sound of the holy names. But when one does studying, we cannot do background. It should be primary. Does that make sense, Dharmavir Prabhu?
Exactly. Thank you so much. I was thinking about this question for more than 2 years, and you are the today I got the opportunity. I really appreciate. And another question, Prabhuji, you kindly said in Bhagavatam there is nothing non-essential, everything essential. Totally agree. But sometimes, as an ignorant student, I like in 10th canto, for example, only for example, Krishna has told he had during the Govardhan Puja, Krishna encouraged like karma type of instruction to Nanda Maharaj. So that is not that part of teachings is not to be followed, I believe. So how could we understand that Srimad Bhagavatam has only essential things?
Yeah, very good question. So you find this in all the Shastra. Actually, all the Shastra are meant to only do stuti or glorification of Bhagwan. That is the premise of all Shastra. Shastra means it should do stuti of Bhagwan. But if you, let us pick up Ramayana. If you read Ramayana, you find that so many times Ravana is criticized in so many ways. He's lusty, he's greedy, he's very egoistic, he's creating havoc, he's unwilling to return Sita. So many criticisms are there. So is Ramayana a Ninda Shastra or a Stuti Shastra? What is it? Ninda means criticism. Is Ramayana doing Stuti or Ninda? Shastra should not have Ninda, it should only have Stuti of the Lord. So in that sense, there should be no mention of Ravana and no criticism of Ravana. Same in Bhagavatam, Hiranyakashipu is criticized. Krishna is giving alternative philosophies to his father. Karma Mimamsa philosophy of Jaimini is mentioned as an argument to not perform Indra Puja. So why are these opposite things there? So the answer is given by the Acharyas. These are given for the listener to understand what one should not do. What one should not do. So it is not Ninda. It is also Stuti under the pretext of Ninda. So when Krishna says in Bhagavatam that Nanda Baba, please follow this Karma Mimamsa philosophy, what he is actually doing is giving arguments to us to understand that even according to Karma Mimamsa philosophy, one can come to the conclusion that Govardhan Puja was important. However, Karma Mimamsa philosophy he himself rejects later. When he glorifies Govardhan, he rejects Karma Mimamsa philosophy also. So, Shastra is intact because in its boundary you find so many different things, but they are all meant to point to the love of the Lord. So in that way we understand. Otherwise, we can have multiple meanings. Somebody may say in Bhagavad Gita, the ultimate instruction of Krishna, chapter 18, verse 66, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Let's just take that sentence. Sarva dharman parityajya. Give up all dharmas. Mamekam sharanam vraja. And just take my shelter. Somebody might say, oh, I drink alcohol. I like eating meat. I take recreational drugs. I am having multiple affairs. And I love to gamble on the stock market, but also go and make bets and lotteries and all kinds of gambling. But I am completely surrendered to Krishna, and I am a very great devotee. So you will say, hey, you don't follow any dharma and you are a great devotee. How is that possible? So he will say, oh, no. Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya, give up all dharma. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Just surrender unto me. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm not following any dharma. Sarva dharman parityajya. Give up all dharma. So is this what Krishna means? No. So the acharyas explain, here give up all dharma means give up all other varieties of religions, religiosity, and only surrender to Krishna and do what Krishna says. So similarly, Shastra needs to be understood in that manner. So even when Krishna does ninda of something or stuti of something, the purpose is more important than what you are just reading. That is why Bhagavata Podo Vaishnavera Sthane. Mahaprabhu has instructed how you will study Bhagavatam. Is it just a book? Can you just approach? Forget Bhagavatam. Can you do, I don't know, aerodynamics? Just grab a book on aerodynamics and start reading it and then design your own aircraft at home? Can you do that? No, you need some professor. You need some university. So Mahaprabhu says, what is your professor? Who is your university? Where do you go? Bhagavata Podo. First of all, you read Bhagavatam. You study Bhagavatam. But where? Which university? Who is the professor? Vaishnavera Sthane. Mahaprabhu is saying. Study with Vaishnava at the feet of Vaishnava. Then we will be clear. I hope it helps you understand. Huh?
It's very helpful. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay, we will take a 5-minute break. We'll come back at 10 past 11. Okay, I'm going to switch off my camera and my mic. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we will now go to let me share my screen again. Okay. You able to see it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we'll now go into the Mahatmya from Padma Puran. This is also very interesting. This we will cover 6 chapters. Today we'll cover 2 chapters, hopefully. So Narada Muni is meeting with Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya. Starts with Mangalacharanam. This is a very famous Mangalacharanam actually. This Mangalacharanam verse is very famous. Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwotpatya Adihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Nama. Satchidananda Rupaya. His form is Satchidananda. Vishwa Utpatti Adi Hetave. He is the cause, Hetu. Vishwa Utpatti Adi. He is the cause of creation, etc. So creation, maintenance, dissolution of the universe. Vishwotpatta Pratyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya. He causes the 3 tapa, tapatraya, Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika, Adhidevika. The three tapa, he causes those to completely destroy. Vinasha. Tapatraya vinashaya. Shri Krishnaya. Vayam Numaha. Vayam, we bow down to that Shri Krishna. This Mangala Charanam, we start. So, here is a little bit of a background. Parvati Devi, in Padma Puran, we find she listens to Lord Shiva describe the Bhagavad Gita Mahatmya. Now she becomes very eager to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam Mahatmya. So she asks Lord Shiva, please describe the Mahatmya of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam? Shaunak Rishi and 88,000 other rishis have gathered in Naimisharanya, and they are coming from Prayagraj. They have gathered at Naimisharanya and they approach Suta Goswami. So Lord Shiva, he tells Parvati this background. He says, Shaunakadi Rishi, 88,000, they approach Suta Goswami. And they are asking, Bhakti Jnana Viragapta Viveko Vardate Katham. First question. What is the question? Bhakti Jnana Viragapta Viveka. Viveka means discrimination. You see, in this world, we are always discriminating. For example, you will not put your hand in fire. Why? You're discriminating. Oh, if I put my hand in fire, I'll burn my hand. You're not drinking poison. You're discriminating. Oh, if I drink poison, I will be sick, or I might even lose my consciousness, might die. So, Viveka has to be there always. But Viveka, which is not the discrimination, which is not evolved through Bhakti Jnana Viraga, will lead to some other kind of decisions. Why is it that one man, given a circumstance, one man takes one decision and the other man takes a different decision? What is it that drives those decisions? What drives those decisions are the values that that person has. Then what drives those values? The values are driven by what nature that person has developed. And the nature is developed based on the modes of nature, which mode that person is associating with. So one who is associating with passion will have a nature which is passionate, which will have values which are passionate, and their decisions will be driven based on that. Profit. Those who are out of goodness will act accordingly, and those who are transcendental, they are driven by bhakti, bhakti janya jnana, and bhakti janya vairagya. Please try to understand. Bhakti janya jnana and vairagya is not ordinary knowledge and ordinary renunciation. We follow the four regulatory principles. That is vairagya. We know what is to be done, what is not to be done. That is jnana. We are working towards developing love for Krishna. That is bhakti. So, bhakti, jnana, and vairagya, they are all in one basket. Actually, Bhakti Devi is the mother of Jnana and Vairagya. You cannot have the children without the mother, can you? No. And you cannot separate the mother from the children. So one who has bhakti will certainly, true bhakti, will certainly be a wise man with knowledge and will also be renounced. It's it's a package. Cannot separate the children from the mother, and you cannot just have the children without the mother. Please understand this. Try to understand. Bhakti Jnana Viragapta. So the question of the sages is discrimination born of these three. Vardhate katham. How can we increase this? How can we increase Bhakti Jnana Vairagya? Maya Moha Nirashascha Vaishnavai Kriyate Katham. How can Vaishnavas Maya Moha Nirasha, illusion and delusion? Maya is illusion, Moha is delusion. So how can one escape both illusion and delusion if one is a Vaishnava? Please explain this. Then they say, Iha gore kalau prapte. Now that Kali Yuga has started, Jivash chasuratam gata. All the jivas have become asuras. All the jivas, they have become asura. Asuratam gata. Klesha krantasya tasyaiva. Klesha. Klesha, disputes. Krantasya, and disputes and resistance. We are seeing this currently in so many parts of the world. In Middle East, in Europe, and now in Asia, we are seeing this. Klesha krantasya tasyaiva shodhane kim parayanam. These jivas in Kali Yuga, they have become asuras and they are involved in disputes and resistance. How? Shodhane kim parayanam. How can they be purified? Shodhane kim parayanam. Then they are saying to Sutta, please, you are our guru. You give us shiksha. Chintamani loka sukham. They are saying that Chintamani gives loka sukham. Chintamani is touchstone. With a touchstone, you can get anything you want. You just rub it and you say, I want a new Tesla Model 3, and it will be there. But it cannot give you anything beyond the things of this world. So Chintamani Loka Sukham. Surendra Swarga Sampadam. Surendra, Indra, he can give you Swargalok. But what can Guru give you? Prayachati Guru Prito. Guru who is dear to you. Vaikuntham Yogi Durlabham. He can give you that which even yogis cannot get. Yogi Durlabham. What can Guru give you? Vaikuntham. He can take you to Golok. Here Vaikuntha doesn't just refer to Vaikuntha planets, also all the way to Goloka. So in these words, Shaunaka and other rishis are trying to please Sutta. Sutta is answering to Shaunaka. He says, Kala Vyala Mukha Grasa Trasa Nirnasha Hetave. For Kala, Kala means time, time. You have clock. Time is compared to Vyala. Vyala mukha grasa means it's compared to the mouth of a serpent. And grasa trasa. Grasa means food. Trasa means fear. Fear of becoming the food in the mouth of a serpent named time. Such a beautiful word, huh? Fear of becoming food in the mouth of the serpent named time. Nirnasha hetave, for destroying that fear. Nasha. Nasha means destroying. Nirnasha. Nirnasha hetave. Suta is answering Shaunaka straight away. For destroying the fear of time. And what is the time? What is the fear they had? They are saying, Gore Kalau, in this Kali Yuga, time of Kali Yuga. Gore Kalau. He's saying, fear of this Kali Yuga. Srimad Bhagavatam Shastram Kalau Kirena Bhashitam. Kira, parrot, spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to help all the living entities in the human society to be free from the fear of becoming the food in the mouth of the serpent named time. Kala vyala mukha grasa trasa nirnasha hetave Srimad Bhagavatam Shastram Kalau Kirena Bhashitam. Etasmadaparam kinchit. And then Suta Goswami says, greater than this means, etasmad means, this means Bhagavatam. Greater than this Bhagavatam, upaya, solution, mana shuddhyaina vidyate. There is nothing else that will purify your mind. Janmantare bhavet punyam tada Bhagavatam labhet. Wow. Please try to understand this. So important. Janmantare bhavet punyam. For many births, countless births. If this is the plate in which you are collecting your punya, for countless births, and the punya becomes like a big mountain. Tada Bhagavatam labhet. Then you attain Bhagavatam. So not everyone will get. Padma Puran is saying directly. Suta Goswami is saying directly. Janmantare bhavet punyam. You all on this call, and by extension I mean everyone within the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and so many other Vaishnavas and so many other Vaishnava genuine sampradayas, they have attained Bhagavatam only after many births of punya having collected and come together. Janmantare bhavet punyam. And one must understand that if one has not still developed sufficient happiness after associating with Bhagavatam, if one has developed not sufficient attraction for Srimad Bhagavatam, then somewhere we still have to work hard. Because only Janmantare bhavet punyam. Tada, then Bhagavatam labhet, then one attains Bhagavatam. Even demigods don't have access to Bhagavatam. So, Suta Goswami says, even demigods do not have enough punya for Bhagavatam. When Parikshit Maharaj said to listen to Bhagavad Katha from Shukdev Goswami, the demigods appeared there with a pot of nectar. In Padma Puran it is mentioned. Pot of Amrita. And they said, Oh, Parikshit, why you are listening to this Bhagavatam? Out of fear of being killed by Rakshaka, the snake, you are listening to Bhagavatam? We have a solution. Take this nectar, and by drinking this nectar, you'll be free of the fear of death. In 7 days, you cannot die. Rakshaka cannot do anything to you. You just accept this Amrita. And in exchange, you give us the Amrita of this Katha of Bhagavatam. Trade, nectar of the Katha. The Devatas, starting by Indra, he brings the bowl of nectar and he says, please, Shukam Natva Vadan Sarve. All the Devatas, they came to Shukdev Goswami, bowed down to him and said together, Swakarya Kushala Sura. These suras, these demigods, are very expert at Kushala, expert at Swakarya, at gaining what they want. They're very expert, smart people, really smart. So they came with a bowl of nectar. Katha Sudham Prayachasva. They asked for Katha Sudha. Sudha means nectar. They said, Shukdev Goswami, please give us this nectar of Katha. Grihitvaiva Sudham Imam. And please accept this nectar in return. Exchange. Shukdev told the demigods, Kva Sudha Kva Katha Loke. Kva Sudha Kva Katha Loke. What is the comparison of your nectar with this Katha in this world? Bhagavad Katha. Shukdev says, Kva Kacha. Kacha, in Gujarati also they say Kach. Kach means glass. What is the comparison of glass? Kva Manir Mahan and Mani. See, they may seemingly appear to be both shiny, but this one is glass. This one is sapphire. Pure sapphire. What is the comparison? This is maybe, what is the price? 10 pound. This is 10 million. What is the comparison? No comparison. Kva Sudha. What is your nectar? Kva Katha Loke. What is this Katha in this world? Bhagavad Katha. Kva Kacha. Kva Manir Mahan. He compares to Kach and Mani. Brahmarato Vicharyeti Tada Devan Jahasah. Brahmarata is name of Shukdev because he is always absorbed in Brahman, protected by Brahman. Brahmarato Vicharyeti. This is what he replied, Shukdev. Tada Devan Jahasah. Laughing at the demigods, he replied, laughing, Jahasa. He laughed. Past tense. He laughed at the demigods. Hey, what are you saying? You're offering some glass in exchange for a priceless jewel? And then he said, even Brahma was bewildered by this Bhagavatam. In what sense? Radnyo moksham tatha vikshya pura dhatapi vismita. See, generally, according to Shastra, if you die because you are bitten by a snake bites you, and you die because of the snake bite, you actually generally go to hell. But in case of Parikshit, he was bitten by a snake and he went to Vaikuntha, to actually Goloka. How did this happen? Radnyo moksham, he attained moksha. Tatha vikshya, having seen that. Pura, previously, dhatapi, dhata. Dhata means Brahma, api vismitaha. He became bewildered, astonished. How come? The result of snake bite must be hellish planet. But this person received, this king, he attained moksha, he attained liberation, he went back to Godhead. How come? So he performed an experiment. On one side, he put all the different sadhanas, tapa, japa, yoga, everything on one side. On the other side, he put Srimad Bhagavata Katha. Sachaloke tulam badhva tolayat sadhana nyajah. Ajaha, Brahma who's unborn, he doesn't have a father like other creatures have father and mother. He's directly born from the navel of Mahavishnu, of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So his name is also Aja, unborn. Ajaha tolayat sadhanani. He tolayat, he tried to weigh all the sadhanas. And even the rishis were bewildered. Laguni anyani jatani. Everything else was sadhanas. They were lifted up and Bhagavatam was going down, which means who is heavier? Bhagavatam is heavier than all the other sadhanas. Even the rishis were amazed. Laguni means light. Light. This was light. This was heavy. Laguni anyani jatani gauravena idam mahat. Because of the heaviness of this, everything else was light. Tada rishi gana sarve. At that time, all the rishis, vismayam paramam yayuhu, they became extremely bewildered. What is the power of this thing, Bhagavatam? Menire Bhagavad Rupam. Their conclusion is this. Please listen carefully and try to understand. All the sadhanas combined to attain the supreme, to attain moksha, is lighter than Bhagavatam. How could this be? So listen to the conclusion of the rishis and Brahma. What is the conclusion? How can that be? The only way it can be is if the sadhanas are meant to attain supreme. If on the other side of the scale, the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself sits, only then the means to attain him will be lighter than he himself. So, what is the conclusion? Beautiful conclusion. Menire Bhagavad Rupam. They considered, oh, this Bhagavad is heavier only because this Bhagavad is non-different from Bhagavan. Shastram Bhagavatam Kalau. In Kali Yuga, this Bhagavatam, first of all, is Bhagavad Rupa. In Kali Yuga, Pathanat Shravanat Sadhyo, simply by reading Bhagavatam and hearing Bhagavatam. Somebody told me some time back, we hear Shravanam Kirtanam. There is nowhere is the instruction that we should read Bhagavatam. So, it's sometimes we don't know. It's not come within our reach, our perspective. So we think like that. Here it is clearly said, Patana. What is the meaning? Patanath. By studying, by reading, studying. Actually, the meaning is to study. By studying Bhagavatam. Shravanat, by hearing. So study and hear, both. Hear from the teacher, study from the Shastra. Patanat, Shravanat, Sadhyo. In Kali Yuga, by doing these two immediately, Sadhya, Vaikuntha, Phaladayakam, one can immediately go to Vaikuntha. What is immediately? Means next moment. Sadhya means in this life. One life itself. Then Suta Goswami says, so this is just that Brahma episode and the Rishis episode to show that Bhagavatam is heavier than all the sadhanas because Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. Then he continues. Previously, the four Kumaras told Narada how to hear Bhagavatam. I'm going to that. How to hear Bhagavatam in a week. Can you still see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
yes,
Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhu.
So Shaunaka is asking Suta Goswami. There is a confusion here. See, the four Kumaras, we all know the four Kumaras. The moment Suta said that the four Kumaras told Narad Muni how to hear Bhagavatam in a week, do you see any problem in this statement? Okay. You don't see any problem in this statement. But Shaunaka and the other rishis, they saw a problem. They said, the four Kumaras told Narada how to listen to Bhagavatam in a week? Like study Bhagavatam within a week? Loka Vigraha Muktasya. Narad Muni is completely free from things of this world. Loka Vigraha Muktasya, of that Naradasya, of that Narada who is free from this worldly things. Asthirasya, not only is he free from worldly things, he is also very asthira. He doesn't stay in one place more than the time it takes to milk a cow, which is about 20 minutes. He doesn't stay in one place more than half a muhurta. Roughly 24 minutes, half a muhurta is what it takes to milk a cow. 48 minutes is roughly a muhurta. So, for somebody who is only staying in one place for half a muhurta, he's so asthira. Asthira means not staying in one place. How? Vidhishrave kuta priti. How did he develop the love to understand the studying of Bhagavatam, the vidhi, to stay in one place and hear Bhagavatam? And where did he meet the four Kumaras? Samyogaha kutra taisaha. Where did he meet them? This is the question Shaunak and Sut is asking Suta. See, if you read Shastra, it's very logical. Questions are also very logical. Suta is telling Shaunaka now. Let me answer. Ekadatu Vishalayam. Once in Vishala. Vishala is place in Badrinath. Chatvaro Rishayo Mala. The four rishis. Chatvaraha. See, so many. I'm not this time going into Latin and Greek but like quattro, chatvara. It comes from quattro comes from chatvara, which means four. Chatvara rishayo amala. Amala means they are spotless. They are small children, untouched by Maya. Once in Vishala, ekadatu Vishalayam chatvara rishayo mala satsangartham samayata. They came there for satsang. The Drishu Tatra Naradam. When they came there, They saw Narad Muni there. See, this is, you can see Himalayas. Surrounding Himalaya, this spot on the screen is Badrika Ashram. Badrinath, it is known as Badrinath. Very beautiful place, very scenic, surrounded by mountains. It's in a state in India called Uttarakhand. Very nice, beautiful state. So it is in this Vishala Badrinath that the four Kumaras had come. And they chanced upon Narad Muni there. So the Kumaras asked Narad Muni, Katham Brahman Deena Mukha. Narad looked his face was drooping. He was looking low, looking down at the floor. And he looked so confused. So the Kumaras asked, Katham Brahman, O Brahmana, Katham, how come? Deena Mukha, how come your face is drooped? Kutas chinta paro bhavan. What kind of chinta, what kind of worry do you have in your head? Tvaritam gamyate kutra. And where are you going so quickly? Without greeting us, you are just going, walking so quickly. Where are you going? Kutascha gamanam tava. And where have you come from? Where did you come from? Where you are going? Why you look so worried? And why is your face hung down? Is everything okay? It doesn't look normal. So the Kumaras are asking Narada. Narada is telling Kumara, I have been traveling on earth to Pushkaram cha Prayagam cha. I went to Pushkar. I went to Prayag. Kashim Godavarim tatha. I went to Kashi, Varanasi. I went to the bank of Godavari. Harikshetram Kurukshetram. I went to Haridwar, Harikshetra. I went to Kurukshetra. Sriranga Setu Bandhanam. I went in south up to Sri Ranganath and Setu Bandhan, Rameshwaram. But I did not find happiness. I find everywhere there is degradation. I saw degradation in every place. In Kali Yuga, this is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga's situation. Please listen nicely. Try to understand. Napashyam kutrachit sharma. I did not find sharma. Sharma means happiness. Na apashyam. I did not see. Kutrachit. Anywhere. Na pashyam kutrachit sharma. I did not see happiness anywhere. Manaha santoshakarakam. I did not find happiness which gives satisfaction to the mind. Superficial happiness was there, but nothing that gives happiness to the heart, to the mind. Mana santosha, happiness to the heart and mind. Why? Kalina dharma mitrena. By Kali Yuga, who is the friend of adharma? Kali's best friend is adharma. So wherever Kali is, adharma is always there. Because they are best friends, best buddies. Wherever Kali goes, adharma goes. Adharma means unrighteousness, sinfulness. Kalina dharmane mitrena. Mitra, they are mitra. Mitra means friends. Dhareyam badhitadhuna. I am really adhuna. Now, at this moment, I am really afflicted by this Kali. Look at this Kali. Satyam nasti tapas shaucham. In Kali Yuga, there is no truth. What breaks truthfulness? When you gamble. Gambling breaks truthfulness. You cannot be a truthful gambler. Tapaha, what breaks austerity? You cannot be intoxicated and austere. Shaucham. Shaucham means purity. Shaucham also means fidelity. To be loyal. Illicit sex breaks shaucham. Daya, what breaks daya? Daya means compassion, mercy, meat eating. Satyam nasti, there is no satya, means gambling everywhere. Tapaha nasti, this word nasti has to be applied with every word. Satyam nasti, tapo nasti, shaucham nasti, daya nasti. There is nothing. No vidyate kvachit, nowhere, kvachit, nowhere. Everywhere, intoxication, illicit sex, meat eating, gambling. And what is everyone talking about? Even sometimes I see when devotees are meeting, they are talking about 9 out of 10 times this particular thing. When devotees are meeting. Udaram bharino jiva. Udaram means belly. Bharino means filling the belly. Jiva. The jivas are only occupied with filling the belly, nothing else. Devotees are meeting. Oh, how do you cook this? Which is good restaurant? Some devotees are going to restaurants. So they say, which restaurant you have been to? Any nice restaurants available in our area? Have you tried this thing? Have you tried that thing? Or they find something in supermarket. They say, oh, I bought this particular thing. So nice. Prasadam is the only opium of the Hare Krishnas. It has become like this. But it is okay. It is prasadam still. But the consciousness, prasadam is big thing. Prasadam is how it is offered, with what consciousness. To that degree, Krishna will accept. Just you put the food in front of Krishna, he will not accept. With what consciousness it was cooked, under what circumstances. Oh, I feel like pizza tonight. Let me just cook pizza and I'll just dish it out to the deities to sanctify whatever I want to eat. And then I will eat it. Yeah, it's okay. I would still say that one should do it. But certainly, and then when you are eating it, there are no prasadam prayers generally. Just normally devotees are just gorging the food. Now, when I say devotees, I don't mean every single person, of course. You see, once I heard one lecture by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj many years back. Must have been in 2002 or something. And he said, devotional life means making every single act full of devotion. Not just when I'm doing japa or just when I'm doing deity worship. Making every single act full of devotion. That is the goal. So that is why Prasadam prayer also we say, Ekadina Shanti Pure, Prabhu Advaite Ragore, Dui Prabhu Bhojane Bashilo. We don't sing this prayer anymore, but proper time they used to sing. Ekadina Shantipure, once in Shantipur, Dui Prabhu Bhojana Boshilo, two Prabhus, Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, Bhojana Boshilo. They were sitting and having Bhojan, Bhojan, Prasad. Bhojan means to eat. They sat. Then Shaka Koriya Shadono. Shak is a one green, like a green leafy vegetable. Koriya Shadono. By tasting this shak, this green leafy vegetable, what did Mahaprabhu say? Ei shaka Krishna ashadilo. This shak has been tasted by Krishna. This is consciousness. Now, udaram bharino jiva. This one. See, this Shastras are so advanced, they are predicting. Everyone simply talking about how do I fill my big belly, my pot belly. Varaka, Kuta Bhashina. And you are an expert in Kali Yuga. If you are Kuta Bhashi, if you are very crooked in your speech, then you are expert. Everyone speaking crooked, not straightforward. You ask someone where you are going. I'm going somewhere to do something at some time. Very indirect goal, roundabout answer. Simplicity lost. Straightforwardness lost. Kuta Bhashina. In everything there is politics. There is some deliberation, not openness. We know this. Then, this one also we know. In Kali Yuga, everyone manda, slow. Everything they do slow. Sumanda matayo. Their brain also works slow, so less intelligent. Actually, Shastra doesn't say less intelligent. Shastra says slow intelligence. Slow to process things. Previously, for example, previous ages, if a class like this was going on, the teacher would have been teaching. Every verse that he or she has taught, the students have already memorized while teaching itself. Now impossible. Sumanda matayo. Manda bhagya, to make it even more difficult, manda means slow or less. Bhagya means fortune. They are less fortunate. Upadhruta. Now to compound this, they are upadhruta. Dhruta means always running. Upadhruta means unsettled, fidgety, cannot sit in one place. You can say ADHD and other things are also an expansion from this upadhrita. But they did some research that ADHD, what also probably causes it is too much engagement with technology and all kinds of gadgetry, and the mind becomes just so, unsettled and is moving from jumping from one thing to another. It all contributes to this. Pakhanda nirata santo. Now, very nice. Who is saintly in Kali Yuga, Pakhanda nirata. One who is expert at making a show. Oh, just see, he's so humble. Just see, he's so knowledgeable. Just see, he knows Sanskrit so well. Just see, he knows Shastras, quoting verses so sweetly. Just see, his kirtans are so beautiful, so much heartwarming. Actually, it's only pakhanda they are doing. Only showing. Pakhanda nirata. Then very saintly. Santa means saint. English word saint came from Sanskrit Shabda. Santa. Viraktaha saparigraha. Virakta means those who are renounced. Sannyasis, brahmacharis, vanaprasthis. Virakta, meant to be renounced. Saparigraha. They have the most wealth. I'm not saying this, Padma Puran is saying. In Kali Yuga, sannyasi means flying in first class. Brahmachari means flying in first class, having the latest iPhone, latest Apple gadget. Sannyasi means having big bank balances, splashing out on big holidays. Many sannyasis are like this. I'm not talking of ISKCON, I'm talking general, virakta. Some Babas also, you see, so many, they are wearing Gucci and Prada, and they are meant to be virakta. They are meant to be renounced. By the way, Kali Yuga does not spare any place. So it can enter within ISKCON society also, these things. I'm not saying about ISKCON, but I'm saying Kali Yuga is all pervading. So it could affect everyone, including us, me, you, everyone. So here it says the sannyasis, brahmacharis, vanaprasthis, they are the most wealthy. Saparigraha. Actually, the word saparigraha means they are interested in wealth and property. They have a lot of wealth and property. Then, Taruni Prabhuta Gehe. When the wife comes, young wife, she comes to the house, Gehe, in the house. Prabhuta, she becomes the ruler of the house. Previously, the elders were the decision makers. In Kali Yuga, young wife, she becomes the boss, the new wife, newlywed wife. And Shyalako Buddhidayaka. And who gives buddhi? Who becomes the counselor for the husband and wife? Shyalaka. Shyalaka means the wife's brother. So everything from the wife's side. Everything they lean towards the wife's side. Forget their own family. The man forgets his brother, his own sister, mother, father. Everything on wife's side. Kanyaya vikrayino lobhat. Out of lobha, greed, they sell their daughters. There are still such practices in India. And even in the West, in Romania and a few other places, where there are markets in which you can find a suitable match, but you have to pay some price. There are such things. Even in places like Hungary, Romania, Poland, some people are there. And in India also. So Kanyaya Vikrayino Lobhat. Sometimes they don't do it overtly, but covertly. Because they think, oh, if I marry my daughter to this rich man, I will get a lot of money from her. So you marry this rich man. Kanyaya Vikrayino Lobhat. Dampatinam cha kalkanam. I cannot even translate this. Okay, I will translate it. Dampati means husband and wife. Kalkanam means quarrel. See, these are all indicators of Kali Yuga. Like you have a litmus, the litmus test. You put litmus in water. If it turns pinkish, reddish, it's acidic. If it turns blue, it is alkaline. So it's litmus is a paper. So these are indicators, litmus. This is very interesting. Kalkanam means fights, quarrels. Dampatinam means between husband and wife. Kali Yuga means every husband and wife fights. You might see them in the temple. Oh, so nice. Divine couple. Behind closed doors, the divine couple is another kind of couple. Kalkanam, fighting. Dampatina. Only the degrees may vary. Some may fight more than the others. But in Kali Yuga means husband and wife, there is fight. Ashrama yavanai ruddha. Ashramas. The ashramas meaning those which are temples and other places. There are ashram, brahmachari ashram, sannyas ashram, all these ashrama. Yavanai ruddha. They are full of unqualified people. Unqualified. Tirthani saritas tatha. And the tirtha, the holy places, and the lakes around them, devata yatanan yatra, and the deities and the temples. Dushtair nashtani bhurisha. Unscrupulous people destroy these places. We go to so many places, dham. We see what externally they have done a lot of, even deities are not there. Some deities have been stolen, some have been looted, temples have been emptied of all their opulence. You go to Tirtha, it is all about taking a dip in the water and giving your hard-earned money away to the local pandits. This is what it's become in Kali Yuga. Padma Purana is saying directly, Narad Muni is saying. Narad Muni is in our sampradaya. If you look at Bhagavad Gita as it is, you see our sampradaya. It goes all the way up. Vyas is Guru Narad, then go up Brahma. So he is in our sampradaya. Our sampradaya acharya is saying this. Na yogi naiva siddhova. In Kali Yuga, no yogi, no siddha, no jnani, satkriyo naraha, no one who performs good deeds. Kali davan alenadya. In this forest fire of Kali, sadhanam bhasmatam gatam. In this forest fire of Kali, everything has become bhasma. All the sadhanas have become bhasma, have turned to ashes, burnt into ashes. So there are no perfect means of going back to Godhead. Attashula janapada. So this you have to read commentary, otherwise the meaning will not be understood. Attamannam shivo veda shulo vikraya uchyate kesho bhagam iti proktham rishibhi tattvadarshibhi iti atte dhyadi kasya lapanika. What is the meaning? Attashula janapada. In every town, you'll find people sell. Shula means to sell. Atta means anna. People are selling food. This is Kali Yuga. In previous yugas, you don't sell food. You just give for free. Shiva Shula Dvijatayah. Shiva means Vedas and mantras. Shula means they sell. Dvijatayah. The Brahmanas, they sell mantras. How do they sell mantras? Package. 500 pounds package for wedding if you do it within 5-mile radius of the priest. Otherwise, 1,000 pounds for a bigger wedding, 5,000 pounds for wedding away from home, 10,000 pounds for destination wedding. If you take them to an island, maybe 20,000 pounds. They are selling. This is not Dvija. These are not Dvijas at all. Shiva Shula Dvijatayah. This is Kali Yugas. In Kali has entered them because they are selling the Vedas. Kaminya Kesha Shulinya. Kaminya, young women, they sell their bodies. There are so many places. Now, to raise funds for the war in Ukraine recently announced that they will make prostitution and this, not prostitution, sorry, this pornography tax-free in Ukraine. You can produce as much pornography as you want in Ukraine. It will be tax-free, so that they will produce more pornography. So more people will buy, so more funds will be raised. So government will get more tax, more benefits, more economy will be, investments will come. So this, even governments are thinking like this. There are so many countries where prostitution is legalized. Young women are falling prey. Sambhavanti kalau iha. This is what Kali Yuga is, all around. All around. So Narad Muni says, I was so, you asked me why my head is low, why I'm walking like a distraught person who is under so much distress because of all this. He says, then I reached Yamuna, and there I saw something wonderful. I saw a beautiful young woman being fanned by hundreds of maids. And very strange, there were two old men lying unconscious on her lap. Old men. She stopped me and she asked me to help her. So this Narad Muni is telling the four Kumaras in Vishala, in Badrikashram, that when I went to Yamuna, she stopped me and she asked me for help. So Narad Muni asked that lady, Kasi tvam kau imau chema kasi tvam. Who are you? Kau imau. Who are these two boys? Are these two men? Old men on your lap? Cha and imanaryaha ka. Who are these women? Hundreds and hundreds of women surrounding you. Padmalochana. Oh, beautiful lotus-eyed lady. Please answer my question. Vada Devi Savistaram. Please tell me in detail. What is this scene? So many women surrounding you, and you, looking so opulent and beautiful, have these two old men lying unconscious on your lap. Vada, please tell me, swasya dukkhasya karanam. Tell me the reason for your dukkha, for your feeling morose and dejected. This lady said, O Narada, my name is Bhakti, personification of devotional service. These two are my sons. Their name are Jnana and Vairagya. And these maids that you see, hundreds and thousands of them, they are all the holy rivers from Ganga, Jamuna, etc. So Narad Muni meets Bhakti Devi. You can see Jnana and Vairagya are lying unconscious on her lap. They are her sons. The lady tells Narad Muni, I was born in Dravida, Tamil Nadu. I became mature in Karnataka. I was somewhat respected in Maharashtra, and I attained old age in Gujarat. Finally, when I reached Braj, I was young, but my sons still remain old. So Bhakti, if you see, Bhakti Devi starts with the Alvars. The Alvars in South India, thousands of years ago, during Krishna's time only. Then Bhakti Devi transmits all through and ultimately reaches Braj. Bhakti Devi tells Narada, Jarathatvam samayatav tena dukkhena dukkhita. I am dukkhita, I am grief-stricken because Jarathatvam samayatav, because my sons have become old. Saham tu taruni kasmat. How come I am still young? Sutau vriddau imau kuta. And how come my sons are old? How is this? How can you have a young mother with old and feeble unconscious sons on my lap. How come this is the case? Narada tells Bhakti, people in Kali Yuga are like Aghasur. Aghasur was he was a demon, like, a snake called boa, B-O-A, boa constrictor. He's a big snake with big mouth. He swallows his prey. So this is Aghasur. But he was sitting there with his mouth, lying there with his mouth open, as if he is a beautiful cave. So all the gopas entered. So fraudulent and wicked. So people in Kali Yuga are like Aghasur, Narad Muni says. Earth in Kali Yuga is such a burden on the hoods of Shesha, Ananta Shesha. And then he says, you have become old because you are neglected and no one wants you or your sons. So your condition is a result of Kali Yuga. But in Vrindavan, you have regained your youthfulness and you dance. This is the power of Vraja. Vrindavanasya samyogat. By coming in contact with Vrindavan, punastvam taruni nava. You became a new youthful teenage girl. Dhanyam Vrindavanam tena. It should be Dhanyam Vrindavanam tena. All glories to Vrindavan, through which tena bhaktir nrityati yatra cha. Bhakti dances in Vrindavan, Bhakti Devi. But please understand, even in Vraj, Bhakti is there. Jnana and Vairagya are old, unconscious. So how do we revive? Even simply if you go to Vrindavan and associate with these all, some sadhus and babas and this and that, you may feel some bhakti, some vague bhakti. There is no, she's like not complete because there is bhakti but no jnana and vairagya. This is in Vrindavan. So, why the sons are old? Atremau grahaka bhavan. See now, Narad Muni is replying. Na jaram api munchata. These sons of yours are still old here in Vrindavan also. Because there are no grahaka, because they have found no. Grahaka literally means, what is the English? Customers, yes. Because there are no customers. Nobody to accept you, your sons. There is no one who wants Jnana and Vairagya. They want some bhakti, but no Jnana Vairagya. We find this also even amongst our devotee circles. They say, oh, I don't read, I'm just chanting Hare Krishna. And no, you read Mahaprabhu's verses, Shikshashtakam. He calls Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. This chanting is Vidya Vadhu Jivanam, is the husband of Vidya, the wife named Vidya. Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. So this chanting can be produced, can be realized by having Bhakti Janya Jnana and Bhakti Janya Vairagya. That Jnana and Vairagya which is an element of Bhakti itself. What are we doing right now? Are we doing Jnana, knowledge? Some of you might think, oh, I'm gathering knowledge. What is the use of knowledge? No use. And there is a huge misconception. This is not knowledge. This is bhakti. What is being practiced right now is bhakti. When you go and listen to a class, some of you went to this Rise retreat. What you went there for? Knowledge? No, it's bhakti. When you're fasting on Ekadashi, you're doing it for Vairagya? or some austerity. No, it is bhakti. This is misconception. So here, atremau grahaka bhavan. There are no customers for your sons, jnana and vairagya, so they have become old. Na jaram api munchatah. They are not able to give up their old age. Kinchidatma sukhe neha. But because they are self-relishing, they are at least alive. Prasuptir manyate nayo. They both are alive because they have their own life. They are relishing in it themselves. Jnana is relishing in himself and Vairagya is relishing in himself, but they have no takers. Nobody wants to take them. People want some bhakti, some emotional sentiment, but no real renunciation and no knowledge. Bhakti Devi tells Narada, Katham parikshita radnya. If that is the case, you are saying Kali Yuga is the reason why my sons have become old, then why did Parikshit sthapito hi ashuchi Kali? Why did Parikshit allow this Kali Yuga to stay? Pravrutte tu kalau sarva sara kutra gato mahan. And when Kali Yuga appeared, where did the essence of all good qualities go? Where has it vanished? It has vanished from here in Kali Yuga, but where did it go? You know, like you take something, move it from the table to the chair, or chair to another table. Thing is not gone forever, it is only moved. So where has it moved to? The good qualities that were there in the previous ages, where did they all go to? And why did Parikshit allow this Kali? If this is the reason you are saying my sons are suffering. Karuna parena harinapi. I have one more question. Why did Hari, Krishna himself, adharma kathamikshate? How can Krishna see this adharma going on? All these things that you are saying, you said previously, which are going on. How can Krishna allow these things to happen? Imam me shamshayam chindi. Please, chindi, chop, cut, shamshayam, this doubt. Me shamshayam, my doubt. Imam me shamshayam chindi. Tvadvacha sukhitasmyaham. By your words, I will become happy. Narada Muni tells Bhakti Devi, Kali took shelter of Parikshit Maharaj, and Parikshit Maharaj allowed him to stay because he saw some, exceptional good in Kali. Bhakti Devi said he saw good in Kali. What is Kali good for? Narada Muni replies, Yat phalam nasti tapasa. That result that you can't obtain through austerity. Na yogena, through yoga. Na samadhina, not through samadhi. That result which you cannot obtain through these other paths. Tat phalam, that result, labate samyak, is perfectly attained. Kalau, in Kali Yuga, Keshava Kirtanat, is simply attained by doing Keshava Kirtana, Hari Kirtana, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Simply by this Harinam, in Kali Yuga, you get the same result as doing all kinds of tapasya, yadna, everything else. So, nowadays there is a trend. People are moving to a lot of yadnas and these kind of vidhis and this and that. Even amongst Vaishnavas, we are seeing. So, it's okay if you can find a genuine Brahmana, knows his mantras properly, if you can find the ingredients which are pure, if you can understand that you are doing it at the right time, in the right muhurta, on the right day, if you can be devoted, If all these elements are there, then yeah, you can do some yajna, no problem. You can do some vidhi. But here it is directly said, Keshava Kirtanat, to the degree you have faith in the holy names of the Lord, to that degree, all your acts will be purified. Keshava Kirtan is so powerful. Kukarmarchana, Kukarmacharanat Sara, because of kukarma, because of not acting correctly, all the sara, all the essence, sarvato, nirgato, dhuna, have now vanished. All the essence has gone away. Padartha samsthita bhumau. In this world, the external things are still there, but the essence is gone. Bijahina stusha yatha. He's giving a nice example. What is this? What do you think this is? Anyone?
Wheat?
Husk.
Yes. So somebody said wheat. It certainly looks like wheat, but if you look carefully, yeah, it is only husk. There's no grain inside. So this is Kali Yuga. You have a big yagya kund. You have many fruits. You have big fire. You have one priest who is dressed up in very nice clothes, showing off his muscles, wearing a nice Brahmin thread, and brought so many other instruments to perform yagya. You are sitting in clean clothes, and everyone in the family is sitting there, and what nice yagya you are doing. The person doesn't know any mantra. The ingredients are vegetable ghee, not even dalda ghee, not even pure cow ghee. So all these things are substandard. Essence is not there. Show is there. Essence is lost. This is what Narad Muni is saying to Bhakti Devi. Bijahina tusha yatha. Tusha means husk. Bijahina means without the grain, without the germ. So there is no germ. In English you call it germ, but there is husk. So husk without the germ. Someone has raised their hand.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pradam. Just two slides. In slide 230, it has been said that it's the glories of Kali Yuga that the Keshava Kirtanam is so potent and it would oversee everything. But is it, I mean, isn't it the fact for all the yogas? Is it something like this Kirtanam is only powerful in Kali Yuga?
Very good question. In the previous yugas, the dharma of those yugas was different. So the means for attaining, like for example, you see Dhruva, he's doing tapasya. Narad Muni, the same Narad Muni here is saying in Kali Yuga you do Harinam. He's telling Dhruva, you do Harinam with tapasya. So please understand. Very good question. I have to answer this question fully. Okay. In Satyuga, in Dwapar Yuga, sorry, in Treta Yuga, in Dwapar Yuga, and in Kali Yuga. In Satyuga, what is the means? You know that. Shujoy?
Tapasya
Tapasya. In Treta Yuga, what is the means?
is Yagya.
Huh?
Is it Jagga?
Yagya. Very good. In Dwapar Yuga, what is the means?
Is Archanam?
Archanam. Archana means worship.
Yeah.
And Kali Yuga?
It's Hari Sankirtan.
Naam. So actually, when you are doing tapasya, what do you do tapasya with? You do it with Naam. Yagya, what do you do with? You do with Nam. Archana, what do you do with? You do with Nam. You say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and then you do Archana with that. But in Kali Yuga, you don't need that external. So these are the external packages that are needed. So for example, if you want to give gift to someone, you put it in a box, na? So in the other yuga, you need to have that box in which the Naam has to be. But in Kali Yuga, for Nama, no condition. Are you following?
Yes, Prabhu.
Are you following the difference?
Yes, Prabhu.
So Naam is not diminished. In fact, tapasya doesn't mean you just sit in the jungle and stand on 1 feet. No. That is the packaging. Then you do that, then you do Naam only. Like Bhagavatam, not Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita says about tapasya, Hatha Yoga. What does it say, Bhagavad Gita? It says, Ekaksharam. You have to
Nashitagraha.
focus on Ekakshara. What is Ekakshara? Is Naam again. You are doing tapasya, Bhagavad Gita says, want to do tapasya? Okay, go to the forest, sit in a certain posture, sit on a certain place with a certain kind of, deer skin or tiger skin. Then sit in a certain posture with eyes half closed. And then do what? Focus on the tip of your nose. And then do what? Then
Focus on Om.
meditate on Ekakshara. So Naam will always be there. But then the packaging is needed for that yuga. In Kali Yuga, Naam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. This is the thing. Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. Nija, his own, Sarva Shakti. All his potency, he just put it in the Nam. Nam Akari, he did. Who did? Bhagavan did. Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita. And then he gave that Nam to everyone. Niyamita. What is that? Tatrarpita.
Niyamita Smarane Nakalaha.
Niyamita Smarane
Nakalaha.
There is no time or condition for that now. So without any packaging, raw, make it easy. Are you following?
Yes, Prabhu.
Very interesting and important question. This is the kind of question I like. Very good. So then, Viprair Bhagavati Varta. Oh yeah, we are on this verse. There is no essence left in Katha in Kali Yuga. Why? Viprair Bhagavati Varta Gehe Gehe Jane Jane Karita Kanalobhena. Viprai, the Brahmanas, are doing Katha for what? Kanalobhena. Because they want to have money or they want to have grains. You see, so many Kathakars are there in the world. You can invite them. I know one particular gentleman, he wants to invite one Kathakar. He said, I need 40,000 pounds to invite him. I said, 40,000 pounds? This Kathakar is from India. I said, how much you will charge? How much he will charge? So he said, he doesn't charge so much. He will only take 20,000 pounds. The rest is for, the function and the hall and this and that. I said, 20,000 pounds? What Katha he is going to give you? He said, he is doing Hari Katha with very nice music and very, very, emotionally people will cry in tears. Said, you can, somebody can slap you one tight and you will cry with nice tears. So you don't need this 20,000 pounds for this. Kanalobhena, for money. Brahmanas will do Bhagavati Varta. Bhagavatam will be sold. Katha saras tato gataha. Because it is sold, the sara, the essence of the katha is lost. The katha, which is like wheat, has become like husk. Atyugra bhuri karmano nastika rauravajana tepi tishtanti tirtheshu. This is very harsh, but I have to say it because Narad Muni is saying it. Don't take it beyond, just take it as Narad Muni is saying it. Tirtha saras tato gataha. Tirthas, the essence of a tirtha is lost. Why? Because who is there in the tirtha? Ati ugra bhuri karmano. Ati ugra. There are people. I know one panda in one holy place. Pujari, not panda, but Pujari. He earns from the devotees and other pilgrims and Hindu pilgrims and all that because he does puja. And his cousin told me not to deal with him because he spends all the money in taking drugs and going to prostitutes. In the morning time, he's doing puja. He becomes Brahman. Ati ugra. Ugra means low class. Bhuri karmanaha. They are doing ati ugra karma. Chewing tobacco. All the Brahmanas, you'll see there, their teeth are red, chewing tobacco. They are smoking bidi. And with the same matchstick, they will light the fire for the yajna. In Bombay, I have seen with my own eyes. One Brahmana smoking bidi during break. They want bidi break during doing yajna. And then when the fire goes down, he comes back and he lights with the same matchstick. And all the people are sitting and they are like, oh, this Brahman is so great. Nastika, actually, they have no faith. This Pandits, they have no faith in what they are doing. Raho. This is so, I mean, Narad Muni is really giving a fistful. He's saying these are Raurava Jana. They are from Raurava hell. These people have returned from Raurava hell and they are going back to the Raurava hell. Raurava is there where, that kind of a hell where you cannot stop crying. You get so much torment. You are tortured so much that you cannot stop crying. Raurava means crying and crying. That is the hell that they go to. And they have returned from that hell. And where did they take birth? In Tirtha. Tepi Tishtani Tirtheshu. Either they took birth there or they stay there in Tirtha. Tirtha Saras Tatogata. So the Sar, the essence of Tirtha is gone. Kama Krodha Mahalobha. Kama Krodha Lobha. Not just Lobha, Mahalobha. Trishna means always wanting something more, not satisfied. Trishna actually means thirst, Sanskrit. The English word thirst came from trish, which means thirst. So kama, lust, krodha, anger, mahalobha, more and more greed. Give me more, give me more. We went to one dham recently, and there we went to one temple, and there was one local person. He usually lives in Bombay, but he was visiting there. But he saw so many pilgrims. He started saying, money, 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 money. We were giving him some money, but he's saying, more money, 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 money. Vyakula chetasaha, anxious to fulfill their thirst, their greed, their anger and lust. Tepi tishtanti tapasi, such are tapasvis. So people are doing tapasya, they are like this. Inside, they are having all these vikaras, modifications. Tapassaras tatogata, that is why the essence of tapasya is lost. In Kali Yuga, manasascha jaya lobhat, dambhat pakhanda samshrayat, shastra anabhyasanat chaiva, Dhyana yoga phalam gata. Dhyana, people are considered to be very absorbed and very sort of, you meet someone, they make such a show of being so absorbed in Krishna and so much, they are fully absorbed in the dham and very humble and very meek and very, very absorbed, dhyana. But really, manasascha ajaya lobhat, their mind is uncontrolled inside. Ajaya, they have not conquered the mind. And they have lobha, they are greedy for attracting praise, attracting good words. Dambhat, pakhanda samshraya, they have taken shelter of pretense, hypocrisy. Damba, inside they feel, just see how nice I am. And very important, they are absorbed, very absorbed devotee, very humble, very this, that. But actually, Shastra anabhyasanat, they do not study Shastra at all. So what it also says is, Shastras have to be studied. And by doing Shastra study, one can get rid of, conquer one's mind, get rid of lobha and dambha, and one can be genuinely absorbed. Because Shastra tells us about Krishna. If you want to, suppose some people are there in this world who are, they follow these celebrities. Suppose I don't know any celebrity, let's say, for argument's sake, King Charles is a celebrity. He is a kind of celebrity. Let's say somebody is obsessed with King Charles. It's not enough to just say, I'm obsessed with King Charles. He will have all kinds of photos of King Charles. He will read about King Charles. The more he reads, the more he hears, the more he associates with perhaps those people who have served King Charles, the more he develops his love for King Charles, the more he develops his attraction for King Charles. Similarly, Bhagavatam gives us entrance into Krishna's Rupa, Nama, Kriya, and Nama, Rupa, Kriya,
Guna,
and Guna. 4 qualities. So his form, his names, so many names he has. Mukunda, Hari, Govinda, Govardhandhari, Giridhari, Madhusudana, Keshava, so many beautiful names. Nam, Roop, such beautiful forms of Hari in so many incarnations, but as Hari himself, as Krishna himself, he is acting with so many different forms with different personalities and different associates. Guna, such qualities he has. Nama, Rupa, Guna, and Kriya. And what beautiful pastimes he performs. This is what will anchor our mind to Krishna. This Shastra gives. Then our mind is not uncontrolled, not ajaya, but jaya. Mind is controlled because it's fixed on Krishna. Then our lobha is only on Krishna. Then there is no need of dambha because we genuinely feel that we are a nobody. And there is no need to take samshraya, shelter of pakhanda, hypocrisy or show. We will be really absorbed. Dhyana yoga. Otherwise, dhyana yogam phalam gataha. Panditastu kalatrena. And those who are pandits, this is very harsh. Those who are pandits, so-called pandits, ramante mahisha iva, they are simply like bulls. Putrasyotpadane daksha. Bulls are only eager to mate with the cows. Similarly, these pandits, the only contribution they have is they are experts in producing sons. They are just expert with having sex with their wives. What a harsh analysis, but this is true. You see, Puja Panda Pandits, they are just lusty. In Kali Yuga, I'm saying. Of course, not everything can be applied to everyone in blanket. Like, this is you can't apply it to everyone, but this is predominant Kali Yuga characteristics. Adaksha Mukti Sadhane, they are Daksha, they are expert at producing children, but they are Adaksha, not expert. Mukti Sadhane, they are not expert in understanding the means of attaining liberation, freedom. Where there is no essence left anywhere now. Nahi Vaishnavata Kutra. The reason is this. Nahi Vaishnavata Kutra. Vaishnavas are not there today. Why Vaishnavas are not there? Please listen very, very, very carefully. This is not me saying. This is Narad Muni saying to Bhakti Devi in Padma Puran. Sampradaya Purassara. Previously, people followed. Previously, Pura. Sara means they followed. Sampradaya. They followed the correct Sampradaya. There are 4 bona fide Sampradayas. Now they follow anyone. This Baba, that Baba. Anyone. Anyone who is on YouTube is kosher, is halal, is blessed, is sadhu. Any Baba from anywhere. As long as they are from Vrindavan or from some Ayodhya or some Kashi or something, some holy place. They are. No. Previously, there were Vaishnavas following Sampradaya. Sampradaya Purasara. Evam Pralayatam Prapto Vastu Sara Sthale Sthale in every place. Vastu Sara. Vastu means a thing. Vastu Sara also means the essence of everything. Pralayatam. Pralaya is completely destroyed because people don't follow the sampradaya the way it was previously followed by the previous generations. This is such a beautiful verse. I love this verse. And why is Hari still enduring this Kali Yuga? Ayam tu yoga dharmo hi. Actually, there is nothing wrong with Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is just doing its own dharma. Please understand. Kali Yuga can give you the benefit of Harinam, but it's a double-edged sword. It has to continue doing its own dharma also. So while it is doing its dharma, it is giving equally on the other side the benefit of Harinam, being the only means, the easiest means to go back to Godhead. So it's a double-edged sword. So on the one hand, you have the holy names. On the other hand, you have the dharma of Kali, which is breaking the 4 regulative principles and all the other things that we saw. So you can't have this without having that. So you have this and you have that. You have the benefit, but then with the benefit, you also have the vice. So ayam tu yuga dharmo hi. Narad Muni says, Vartate kasya dushanam. What's wrong? Kali is just doing its own dharma. So nothing is wrong. Atahatu pundarikaksha sahate nikate sthita. That is why pundarikaksha Hari sahate, he is enduring. He is enduring nikate sthitaha. Although he is there very much in Kali Yuga also, he is enduring everything. There is, in summary, there is no potency left in Katha, Tirtha, Tapa, Dhyana, Pandita. Bhakti Devi was amazed with Narada's response. She asked, why are my sons still old? And he said, first, that nobody is interested in your sons. And then he is saying, Kali Yuga, anyways, everything is useless. Then Bhakti Devi says, but you are meant to give me a solution. So he glorified him as a guru of Dhruva and Prahlad. He said, simply by your words, Dhruva and Prahlad both attain the lotus feet of Hari. So please solve my problem too. So, Narad Muni, chapter 194, we will do this next time. Narad Muni meets the Kumaras who give him the solution. So now Kumaras will give the solution. I hope it's been a good journey so far. And this AI is raising my hand all the time.
Thank you so much. That was just a lot to unpack. So that was really beautiful. Does anyone have any questions at all?
Any questions or comments or corrections? Corrections also welcome, by the way. No questions, no comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you explained it so well, so beautifully, that for me it's just a question of processing what you've said, because obviously I've heard a lot of the kathas before, and this just cements it and makes it stronger. Thank you. It was beautifully explained. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you for your encouraging words. Thank you. Okay, if there are no other questions, then I will give you your 12 minutes back.
If we can,
Hi, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Oh, very well.
Thank you, Prabhu, for this enlivening class after so many days. Prabhu, as you described that the Narad Muni's statement about the people living in the Holy Dham and how it's the Holy Dham is losing the potential essence. So, what should be our mood and attitude toward the people who is living in the Holy Dham when we visit to the Dham? Because whenever we go to the Dham, we are so much afraid of thinking that we might be committing Dham aparadh by not respecting the people living there, or how should I actually balance and yeah.
Yeah, very good question. So there are three kinds of response we can give. One is those who we know are, not everyone, by the way, who stays in the Dham is a hopeless person. Huh? So we should not think like that, that everyone in the Tirtha is useless. No, that is not what Narad Muni is saying. There are sadhus, genuine sadhus in the Tirtha. Srila Prabhupada lived in Vrindavan. So we must go and take shelter of genuine sadhus, number one. Number two, those who are locals, who are, kind of not so grossly sinful, but they may be doing some, like I went to Braj recently and there was one person because where I stayed, that person owned a shop there and he was always chewing tobacco and his teeth were all. So I told him in very nice, kind way, I said, take Harinam and stop chewing tobacco. You can preach. And I gave him Prabhupada's books to read. He was very happy to read Prabhupada's books. So those who are innocent, you can preach or you can behave nicely. To those who are arrogant, who are envious, who try to behave in an odd way with us, we just be indifferent. Indifferent. Don't retaliate. Just be indifferent. You can just say Hare Krishna and move on. You don't have to be retaliatory towards them.
Thank you,
Of
Prabhu.
course, if you can develop a mood of compassion, you can preach to everyone, all categories. But if we are not at that level, we should remain indifferent. Srila Prabhupada just said, just like with a monkey, one of his disciples on the roof of Krishna Balram Mandir, he saw the monkeys were coming and disturbing. So he thought that he will feed the monkeys some bananas so that they will stay in one place. They will not disturb. So he started feeding them and more monkeys came. And in fact, when he was trying to feed them, they were trying to bite him. So Prabhupada, so next time he thought, no, now I'm not going to feed the monkeys. I'm going to show them the stick and hit them. So when he tried to hit them, they were gnawing at him and they were trying to attack him. So he went to Prabhupada and he asked Prabhupada, how do you deal with these monkeys? Srila Prabhupada said, just remain indifferent. Don't show them the stick and don't feed them. So it's like that. We remain indifferent.
Oh,
Any other questions or comments?
Okay, if we can all kindly unmute and say our three Hari Bols. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, sorry, I beg
Uh,
your pardon. It's up to you if you choose to answer or not. I was wondering, I have a question from one of the previous session. It is from the second session, where Lord, we again graphically understood Lord Anantadev resides on the bottom of the creation, I mean, the material universe. And above him are so many other planets, and we are in the middle. So below us is Lord Anantadev. And question came, are we kind of making some offense toward the Lord? He's residing below us. So how can we resolve this?
No, in that sense, Bhumi Devi, if you go to any South Indian temple, you will see there are two Devis next to Krishna, Bhudevi and Shri Devi. Now, Bhudevi is earth. When Varadev lifted the earth, she said, oh, I've been touched by you, and so I have to accept you as my husband because you hugged me and you brought me up. So you have to accept me as your wife. So Varadev said, okay, you marry me. So Bhuvaraha is very famous deities. So Bhumi Devi is also wife of Krishna, of Vishnu. But you and I, we are standing on Bhumi Devi. Everything we do is on Bhumi Devi. So are we offending? So the idea is very simple. The Lord is all pervading anyway. And in different forms of the Lord or his expansions, his energies, they are deemed to act in a certain way for a certain purpose. In doing that, we are neither offending them or glorifying them. It is simply, so the existence itself is fully dependent on the Lord. So there is no question of offending. See, get this right, that offense or no offense, love or no love, is much more a matter of intention than of action. We cannot just say the action. If you look at a mother slapping a child, you might say, oh, this is unacceptable. One lady who is 30 years old is slapping a child who is 5-year-old, mercilessly beating up the child. But it might be the mother's love because the child is not listening, and the child might have, of course, in the old days in Britain and in India, they used to do this. Now we don't do it. But getting a little, loving chastisement from a parent may appear to an external person as something else, but their intention may be something else. Similarly, it's the intention. Just by the very fact that we stand on earth, we don't offend Bhumi Devi. Having said that, here is something that we don't do currently. And this is a very interesting thing I'm going to tell you. Whenever one buys a new property, a new land, one does
Bhumi Puja.
Vastu Puja and Sthapana. In that Sthapana, you always put a deity form of Ananta first in the ground. It has to be put at least 1 meter inside the ground, the deity form of Ananta. And you please Anantadev and say, my dear Lord, please hold me. I am going to be here on you, on your head. So please protect me. Without you, I have no place to even stand. Similarly, every Brahmana or at least Vaishnava Hindu in the olden days who had some understanding of dharma, every day morning, even climbing out of the bed, they do Bhumi Vandana. They would fold their hands and say, and if you don't know the prayer, you just fold your hands and even say in English, "My dear Mother Earth, please forgive me for stepping on you." So that gratefulness was there. Otherwise, they do Bhumi Vandana every day. I do it still. When I rise, I don't just jump off my bed on the floor. I beg for forgiveness and then I do it. But I'm not saying you should all start doing it. My point is this, that certain things we cannot even live, we cannot even survive without the Lord's mercy. Our existence is owed to the Lord. And the Lord is, through his energies in different forms, supporting our existence. In that sense, we have to be both grateful to the Lord and we have to serve the Lord. That's it. Is that making sense to you?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Yeah, it is. And Prabhuji, another question is, you kindly mentioned that Yamuna Devi told the queens of Braja that because she knows her relationship with Krishna, she knows her constitutional position and relationship with Krishna, that's why she is blissful. That is good. But on the other hand, we have intense mood of separation exhibited by Radharani himself. Prabhupada mentions in the lecture that when Radharani meets Krishna, even in that meeting, she feels the separation because she's going to be separated from Krishna. So how could we understand this?
Yes. Before I answer your question, this is the mantra that generally is said. Samudra Vasane Devi Parvatastana Mandale Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam Padasparsham Kshamashvame. Please forgive me for putting my foot. Samudra Vasane Devi, your clothes are the ocean. Parvatastana Mandale, your bodily limbs, your chest is the mountains. Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam. I bow down to you, who is the wife of Vishnu, Bhumi Devi. Padasparsham Shamaswame. Please forgive me, Kshamaswa, for putting my foot on you. This verse is chanted before you climb off the bed, generally. Anyway, so thank you, Shriji Sundari, for sharing. So for this second question, Yamuna Devi is both enjoying separation and union, both. Three elements stayed when Krishna left: Yamuna, Govardhan, and Brajmandala, the land of Brajmandala. These three they stayed. By the order of the Lord they stayed. But with the blessing that they will always be in separation but also in union. So, yes. Okay. You are on mute, Dharmveer Prabhu.
Yes, I have unmuted myself.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's pay our obeisances to all the Vaishnavas.
If you can all,
Ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
if you can all kindly unmute to say our three Hari Bols, please.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol!
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol!
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the
Hare
lovely
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kartik, Chandra Prabhu, welcome to the Learning Bhagavatam class. I believe you may have got host right, so I'll just quickly check. Yep, you've got host rights. Welcome everyone to the Glories of the Learning Bhagavatam class. Thank you for joining us. If you would start the session, Kartik Chandra Prabhu. Welcome back, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. It's very nice to see you all again. Deepatatri Mataji has been very patient with us.
No problem. Us and joining us, we really appreciate your classes. Thank you, Babu.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. And we will continue from where we left off. It seems like a long time. It's been almost a month since we had the last session. So I will do a quick revision as well. Let's begin with chanting the prayers.